He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
This One's Wife, the photo fabrication of Lili. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. There are those that suggest that Princess Lilibet doesn't actually exist, that she was never born. There are others that believe that she does exist, but she wasn't born from this one's wife, but through surrogacy. And there are others who believe that this one's wife did indeed give birth to Lilibet. But for those that fall into the first two categories, there is a suggestion that there is some chicanery at work. That either, since she doesn't exist, she has to be fabricated, or where she's been born of a surrogate, there is a reason why this one's wife doesn't want her seen, and therefore there is a fabrication of an individual who is made to appear as Lilibet, but the real Lilibet is never actually seen. Previously, as a consequence of work undertaken by one of my viewers, there was the suggestion that one of the children that appears in the photograph actually is the daughter of Stacey Schroeder, an acquaintance of this one's wife, and therefore there has been a substitution of her daughter to play the role of Lilibet. On a second occasion, the July the 4th photograph, there was the suggestion that again it isn't actually Lilibet in the picture, but this time that she is being created as a composite image, utilising a young Harry. I explained that in a previous video, and of course you can make of that of what you will to make your own mind up as to whether you think it's accurate or not. This same viewer has continued to undertake an investigation into the existence of Lili and whether there is this chicanery taking place with regard to the fabrication of her existence or the distortion of her existence through the creation of a photographic image that is used to be passed off as Lili. Either because she doesn't exist, and this one's wife and Harry also wish to portray her as existing, or that for whatever reason Lilibet cannot be seen and therefore an image of her is created instead. This time a photograph has been examined that is from a few years ago. Let's take a look at it. The photograph that you will see is one that you will be familiar with. It has done the rounds on a number of occasions and was purportedly taken on her first birthday, which is stated as Saturday, June the 4th, 2022, and that it was taken on the lawn when she was in the United Kingdom. And the photograph was taken by Meghan Harriman. The individual who's undertaking the analysis suggests that the image appears at first glance sharp and clear and conjures up the suggestion of authenticity, that the proportions of Lili are natural. Yet there appears to be an unnatural shadow under Lili's dress sleeve, which suggests possibility of editing of the photograph. However, the person undertaking the analysis suggests that it isn't actually this shadow, the sleeve gap, which is the issue. That's just a minor detail. But in actual fact, the issue lies with regard to Lilibet's eyes, which apparently, on closer inspection, appear unnatural. If you enlarge the image and zoom in on her eyes, you may notice that the pupils are not aligned. What has caught the attention of the analyzer is that her eyes sit unusually deep in their sockets. It's as if each eye has been placed behind her face, rather than actually being an integrated part of her face. The analyzer suggested this reminds her of the secret portrait paintings from the Renaissance and Baroque periods, where holes were made for eyes, allowing a person to stand behind the painting and look out through the holes. they get the same feeling when examining each eye. Two glass eyes placed behind a face, Lilibet's face, looking out through two eye sockets, making them seem like something's been added on. You can't see the effect from a distance where her eyes appear natural, but the observation becomes clear when you zoom in very close. If you zoom in on the image, do you pick up on this also? Now, the suggestion has been that also this Lilibet here is very different from the one who appears in the July the 4th photograph, and also the one where it's suggested that actually it's Stacey Schroeder's daughter. Now, differences do occur with children as a consequence of the fact that they are aging, and children do change rather quickly. However, the analyzer argues that the changes here are far more distinct than one would see with aging. Do you agree? So, what do you think with regard to the comparison between the three individuals? Do you think it's the same person, or do you think that you're looking at somebody else alongside two composite images that have been created? And what do you think about the observations with regard to Lilibet's eyes? Do you think that this is demonstrative of a concocted photograph, or do you think that the individual who's undertaking the analysis is incorrect in that regard? You can obviously articulate your thoughts with regard to the matter in the comments. Once again, I'm leaving it for you to judge the veracity of the evidence that's placed before you. Yet there's more. Thus, so far, one of the images bears a striking resemblance to a living child, Stacey Schroeder's daughter, while the other two images resemble photographs which are available on the internet. In respect of the second photograph, the individual undertaking the analysis has obtained a photo that they believe was used. They focused on the face. The face that has been used is an early image of this one's wife, where she has a picture of her, which has appeared in the press circa 1982, when she was around 6 months of age. And you will see from the images that appear on the screen the initial photograph of this one's wife from when she was around 6 months, and then what the analyzer has done is to take that image and place it over the face of Lili to demonstrate the similarity between the images, and also to provide that so that you can see the comparisons with regard to the mouth, the facial features, and the eyes, to suggest that the two images are rather similar. Now, the analyzer has pointed out in their submission to me that they've done this without necessarily having the best photo editing skills in the world, and they maintain that even using their somewhat amateur attempt, you can see the comparison. So query what might be achieved by somebody who is a professional in that regard. They basically cut out this one's wife's face and flipped it horizontally so that it aligned with the angle of the face in the analysis image. And they scaled the face appropriately, and it was manipulated without adding any external elements. And as a consequence, that was what has been arrived at. Do you think that, once again, Lilibet is a photo fabrication, that she has been created from an image of this one's wife when she was little, in order to create the appearance of a child? Or do you think that the individual undertaking the analysis is barking up the wrong tree, and that there is going to be some similarity after all? If this is Lilibet, then since this one's wife maintains she gave birth to her, would she not have some of the features of her mother? Do you think you're looking at someone that looks similar to this one's wife, or do you think you're looking at somebody who doesn't actually exist and is a photo fabrication, that this has been done to con individuals, or is being done to portray a particular image of someone who does exist but is being kept hidden from the world? a third instance of suggested chicanery surrounding the existence of Lilibet. As I've explained to you before, this is something that a narcissist could engage in as a consequence of their necessity of duping people, portraying an image, all, of course, with regard to the pursuit of the prime aims. But I'll leave it to you to make a determination as to what has been placed in front of you. Do you think that this has credibility, or do you think that this is just pure idle speculation on the part of the individual undertaking the analysis and there is nothing in it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.